Let's go.
Okay, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. One of the books I'm going to be reading is Fourth Wing, and this book has been everywhere. It's a fantasy romance book. I've been seeing it all over the place, and because I've been seeing it everywhere, I'm like, okay, I really need to include it in this video. And I also really want to read it because romance fantasy is literally my favorite like combination of genres ever. I ordered it from Walmart, and then it said it was actually gonna come in like a day or something, and then it said it was delayed, and then it said that the order was canceled and they refunded me. So anyway, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of that one. I'm pretty excited because I have heard so many good things about it, but I have not been reading many reviews on it or looking at that much content related to it because I just want to go in kind of blindly. Like, I don't want to get anything spoiled for me. So I'm just gonna sit here with my tea and my Hogwarts mug and listen to Fourth Wing. And that's what I'm doing. Cheers. Okay, I like this narrator. Something that I've literally never heard in an audiobook just happened. The narrator just gulps, like, and I heard it. Like, it was like ASMR. I heard it so crisply. And I'm just thinking about, whoa, do they just edit out all the gulps and all the breaths in these usually? Because I've never heard that before, but it makes sense that someone would like gulp because they're just talking for such a long time. Their mouth's probably getting dry. But like, I've never heard that in an audiobook. It was like a silence and a gulp and then a silence and talking again. I've never heard that, and that was just a new experience for me, and I just wanted to share. Wow. I wonder if there's gonna be gulps all throughout it though, because that'd be kind of wild. Hopefully the rest are edited out because that'd be a lot. That'd be a lot of gulps. Time for a little reading update. I'm 63% through Fourth Wing and I love it so far. It is so good. It does kind of remind me of Divergent, but it's also like so much better in my opinion. I love like the dragons in fantasy books. It's just so fun. The romance is giving. It is just really giving right now, and I'm loving it. I'm just loving the direction this is taking. I like all the characters in it. It's just so solid. I understand why there's hype around it. Let me just explain like a little bit of what's going on so far. There's like some political stuff and like a war that happened and everything, like this big fight where like some people, their parents were like betrayers or whatever, so they got punished where their parents were executed, and the children are punished by like getting these tattoos and stuff. So some of the people training to become dragon riders, which is what the main girl is doing, some of them are the children of the betrayers, but then the main character, her mom was like oversaw the executions and stuff. Like her mom's like the main general person. Important thing to know is that the dragons like pick the people, but Violet was training to become a scribe. She's just not as physically gifted and like naturally looks like she'd be meant for dragon riding, but her mom like forced her into it. Violet has a target on her back because of what her mom did, like the part that her mom took in overseeing the executions, so she's really thrown around quite a lot. Violet is definitely someone who like outsmarts people. Like that's kind of her saving trait throughout a lot of this, and just it's so good. It's just so good. And if that intrigues you, just also of course the romance is going to be with someone who is has like a target on her back as well, because his dad was like the great betrayer who was killed, and it was overseen by her mom. I'm only like 61%, 63% of the way through, because it feels like I should be farther in it, but I'm not. And I just don't know, I'm like, what is even going to happen past this? But it's really good, and I would recommend so far. So I understand why everyone is loving it right now. I'm 93% of the way through Fourth Wing, and I do love it. I've been thinking about it all day because I was going to babysit my nieces, and while I was there I was literally thinking a bunch about this book. Like, it's just really good. I'm about to finish it. It's a really intense scene right now, and I've just been waiting for this, so I'm really excited, and I will get back to you if I finish it tonight, which I probably will. So I am not okay. I finished Fourth Wing, and that was amazing. And then I opened up TikTok, and the first thing that comes up, actually I don't know if it was the first thing, but it was one of the first things, and it was like a character art edit, and I was like, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. And also it just shows how crazy this book's going on the internet right now. The ending was a cliffhanger, kind of. Actually though, I did predict part of that ending, and so it wasn't that shocking to me because I just knew something like that was gonna happen. But at the same time, there was like there were some emotional roller coasters there at the end, so just prepare yourself if you're gonna read it. But at the same time, don't. Just go into it, because it's not that bad, but at the same time, I didn't cry, but I felt a lot of emotions, and it was just, oh, just so good. Like, I wish I had the next book right now, because I'd pick it up right away, and I really loved it. It was so good. You should read it. It was amazing. If you're someone who just loves romance and fantasy, you'll love this book. Political intrigue, romance, action, dragons, like, you've got me. I'm gonna talk more about it later on, but I'm just so happy that it was that good. Like, we're off to such a good start in this video. I really recommend it. I really recommend it. I feel like you can tell how tired I am with how I'm talking right now. I'm so tired. I'm only 12 pages into Happy Place, and I've already laughed a couple of times because Emily Henry writes some of my favorite like dialogue. There's just such good banter between not only the love interest and the main character, but like all the characters. Emily Henry is just so witty, and they're all just subtly funny. It's really good so far. I'm done reading for now because I got hungry, but I just would like to say, I was reading this and I was just thinking, like, reading an Emily Henry book is like reading someone's writing who you know is just like amazing at what they do, and I feel like she's just gonna be writing forever, and her books are just always going to be amazing because she's such a good writer. Like, nothing that she writes, I feel, could I ever like really think that it's bad. I don't know, she just feels like a classic to me. Like, I feel like anything that she makes in the future is gonna be decent, at least. She just has like such a specific voice and way that her writing is, and it's so like, it's like heartfelt and funny and like extremely witty, but then also just like flows so nicely and always just makes you, or at least in my experience, I feel like I always have like epiphanies when I'm reading her stuff. Like, everything just resonates because they're just like such human things, but they're so real. Like, it's just such a specific experience. I don't know how to explain it. There's just something special about her writing in her books. I've been reading Happy Place. I'm on page 155, and oh my god, Emily Henry writes love stories so good. They like tear out your heart and just like squeeze your heart, you know, to where it like hurts, but then you're like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever read. That's kind of what her books do, I feel like, and it makes me feel like this like deep ache in my stomach, I don't know, where I'm like, this, like, it's just so beautiful that I'm like, do people actually experience this? I just feel absolutely torn. Because I'm just like, actually, I'm so happy, like, this is so beautiful, but it's like sad. And not only that, but since it's a second chance, obviously something happened, which just makes it hurt more. And like the way Emily Henry writes, it's like with a little bit of like nostalgia and like the inevitability of like things ending. That's like the feeling you get when you're reading it, and it's just like heart-wrenching. Like, it's great and it's beautiful and it's like a love story, but it hurts. I'm just feeling sad right now. I'm ready for like a comedy. The thing is too, is this isn't even a sad book. Like, it's definitely a romance, and I know that it's gonna end with them together, and right now it's not even like a sad scene. It's just the past, and it's them like falling in love. Maybe it's because it's happening in the past, and that's why it's making me so sad, because it's like something that happened and then they broke up after that, and I'm like, how did they break up after that? But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Another thing that I love, that I feel like, because they're just like so smart and witty and cool, all Emily Henry's like love interests and stuff, and the MCs do this too, it's like vice versa. I love how they just remember like all these little tiny details about the other person. That, if that is, I don't know what love language that would be, if that's just one in its own, or if that's like a words of affirmation type of thing. I don't know if that was what it would be, but anyway, I just love when people do that, and I love doing that. That's definitely something that, it just gets me, and like Emily Henry does such a good job of that. Oh, I just love it. I love it so much. I feel like I don't even care as much if someone like remembers what exact day my birthday is on, but if they remember like a little detail from a story that I was telling them like months ago, I will feel so loved. Like, I'll be like, what the heck, you were really listening to me. Or if they like remember little details about like my favorite things, I would be like flabbergasted. Let's get to reading.
From far away she looks so good. Grew up in the same neighborhood, and that's how to rub so.
Emily Henry story is so funny. Like there's jokes like every other paragraph.
I was on the reservoir, never broke a bone, so I'm gonna try hard to prove you wrong. That I'm not who I used to be. I'm not living at 7.
I'm on page 193. It's taking me forever to read this book. I don't know why. Like it's really, really good. I'm loving it so far. It feels like it's gonna be a 5-star for me. But it's taking me like so long to read it. That just happens sometimes. I have to like reread things a lot, especially with Emily Henry books. I feel like well actually no, maybe not. This is just one of those times where I feel like I have to reread the pages like kind of a lot. Like I'm just getting distracted really easily. Also, because it's so good, I think a lot of times when there's a scenario that happens where I'm just like, that was so cute, or like that was just so, like I felt so much, you know, I'll literally just have to put the book down and I'll just get up and start walking around my room because I just can't handle it. Like I need like a moment to process it, and that happens like often in this book. Maybe like every like maybe like 10 pages that happens. So that's probably why it's taking a long time. That is actually definitely why. So yeah, I might read more tonight, but maybe not, also because it's getting kind of late tonight. I still have some things I have to do, but we'll see. If not, I'll just continue it tomorrow. Hey, as you can see, this book has gotten quite sad. I'm reading Happy Place and I'm on page 283. I think this is like maybe gonna be my favorite book out of all of her books. Like all of her books have affected me a lot because they're just so, like they've made me like emotional. But this one just like, I don't know, this one just hits different for some reason. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like I relate a lot to the main character in this, and that always gets me more because, you know, of course I'm gonna end up getting more emotional if I like relate to the character. I don't even know quite what to say right now, so I'm gonna see you later. But I thought I should check in because I'm literally like sobbing, like shaking, crying at this book. Look at all the laundry I have to fold. Or don't, or pretend it's not there. That's what I'm doing. Okay, we're at the park and we're gonna read for a little bit. And I'm gonna be reading Yours Truly. Actually, I already started it in the car at one point and I didn't really get very far, but I kind of like know what it's gonna be about and it looks pretty good. I'm also taking a picture of that book now. Kelly's gonna be reading The Thea. Let's see. Your feet are in the camera right now.
Feet away, she's like a primrose. You're never taking me alive, so come close. And I know why you said it, cause I'm reading every word in your voice.
He's going into a restaurant right now to meet with his ex-girlfriend that he talked to, who's dated for years, and his younger brother that are together now.
Oh fuck.
I know.
That's fucked up.
Now I'm not who I used to be. Maybe it's a good thing, a good thing, got a good thing coming, it's a good thing. But when I do
Right now they're fake dating and it's really cute. I kind of forgot. I think I knew at one point that it was fake dating, but I forgot. Now I'm like pleasantly surprised by it. Oh my god, I love the characters in this. These are some of my favorite characters ever. And I just think it's like a really heartwarming story and kind of makes you just believe in humans again. It's like, it's not believe in humans, but believe in like love, like romance. I guess men, but then it's a woman who wrote this. So like, it just helps me be a little bit more delusional, I guess. I think I'm just in the mood for like a really like dramatic, juicy, like maybe a high stakes fantasy, or like kind of like a, I don't know, like a romance that's like so many like different drama points going on, and like maybe like a dark romance or something. But I'm reading this right now and I think that's why it's a little bit taking me like not a while to get into, but like I'm not always completely like, oh, I need to read this next part. That being said, I was reading like this entire day. I was reading, so it's very good, all things considered, and I really love it. I'm gonna definitely read more of Abby Jimenez's books because I really like this one, and I feel like she must just be like good at writing, because I've heard really good things of Part of Your World, or Part of My World I think it's called too. So I need to check that one out because everyone was saying good things about it and I never read that one. So this is making me just want to buy like all of her books. This video was such a success because all of these 3 books I'm loving. Like the last 2 books I read were some of my favorites of this year, and now this one's really good too. Like I just feel like it's going so well. Let's begin. Or shall I say, let me begin reading. I don't know. Oh, another thing about this book, the reason why they're fake dating is because the guy in it, his ex-girlfriend is marrying his brother, and he wants to like make it seem like he's fine to the whole family. So he's like, he told them that he had a girlfriend, he lied to them, and they kind of started off, it was a bit of like enemies to lovers, but it was more of like a misunderstanding enemies. They weren't really enemies for that long, and it was really sweet. Like they wrote each other letters. It was just so cute. The girl MC in this too, she was married for like a while. By the way, this is dual POV, but the girl was married for like a while, and then her husband was cheating on her with one of her good friends that they like went on couple trips with and stuff for like 2 years, and like they just had been having like an emotional affair for even longer. And so she's like very much not wanting to, she doesn't want anything to do with like romance, like real romance or anything. And he also just got out of a bad situation too, so it's kind of like a second chance for them at love, like just like believing in love again. I was just checking the camera to see like if I was in the frame, but then my mind, like I already saw this line, and it's like kind of a spoiler so I won't say it, but I already saw this line, and then I looked, but then I registered the line, and that was what just happened. I just finished it, and that was beautiful. I seriously love that book so much. It was just so sweet. I'm gonna just, I don't know, gather my thoughts for a second, and then I will do like a final little wrap up. Don't mind my chair, it's very squeaky, but it's time for me to give my final thoughts on these books. Starting with yours truly, this one was just really good. It took me a little bit to get into it, but not really. Like it actually, this one got me into it kind of quickly, but then once I was like in like the first quarter, it was a slow burn. That's what it was. It was just like a slow burn with the miscommunication, and actually both of these books were slow burns with miscommunications. The difference though is that this one is a second chance and this one is a fake dating one. This is one of my favorite love interests that I've ever read about. Oh, also it's dual POV, so they're both kind of like main characters in this. They are also both doctors or like ER people. They just both work in the hospital, and that's how they meet, and he transfers in as a new doctor at the hospital that she works at, and she's like kind of the head person. She's set to get a promotion, but then she's told, oh, this new guy's coming in, I'm gonna wait a while to give the promotion because we want to get everyone to know this new guy so he can have a chance at the promotion too. And she has no one running against her, so Brianna's like, what the heck, we're giving him a chance to like take this spot that I've been working towards for so long. She starts off not really liking him. Meanwhile, no one else in the office really, or like in the hospital, really likes him either. His first day is really tough for him because like 7 of his patients die. Like it's just like really unfortunate circumstances that occur. He gets this reputation right off the bat of like just all his patients dying and stuff, so everyone's kind of like weary of him. All the while, no one realizes like how much he is dealing with like anxiety for this new job, and like he just went through this breakup, and she worked at his person who he was with worked at the hospital with his brother, who's the person who she is now with. His ex is now with his brother, and they're like working at the other hospital, so he moved to this new hospital. So he's just like going through so much, and he's like so anxious. And then him and Brianna, she's kind of starts to hate him, and he's like, oh my god, I don't want her to hate me. Then he writes her like a letter, and that's how everything starts. If you like words of affirmation, I feel like this is a really good one for that. I mean, I feel like all books are kind of words of affirmation types of books, but like some are like specifically like with letters. When they have letters in them, like, you know, it's like a words of affirmation type of thing. I just thought it was really well done, and I loved it a lot, and it was a 5 stars for me. Okay, Happy Place. Happy Place had so many quotes in it that it's one of those books where you read it, and this for me happens with a lot of Emily Henry books because I don't know, she just knows how to like tug at the soul. I don't know. I feel like this book definitely has more of like life lessons in it, like growing up and changing and figuring out who you are and what you want, like what's gonna make you happy, and maybe kind of disconnecting from the person who like the main characters in this thought that they were supposed to be. Just like kind of, they had to like destroy that image of themselves, or like they had to get rid of that image of themselves in their brain so that they can become who they really actually were and wanted to be. That is just like a little like kind of underlying plot throughout it. But of course there's like a romance at the center, and there's also like a friend group and friendship, love at the center of it. It's about Harriet and Wynne, and they met in college and they fell in love in college, and then they moved out on their own together, but they ended up breaking up for reasons that you kind of figure out as the story goes on. And it's like it goes in between flashbacks and then like the current time. You go to her like falling in love with him and being happy with him, to like this current time where it seems like they just completely hate each other. She's going to meet her friend group, who's also Wynn's friend group. One of the friends owns this like beach house in Maine. Harriet goes to this house, and then they all surprise her because Wynne is there, and they haven't told anyone that they've broken up, and it's been months, and now they have to pretend that they're still together. Wait a second, these both have fake dating too. I didn't even like realize that. They have to stay in the same room and all this stuff. Like there's just a bunch of oh, there's one bed. Yeah, oh my god, there's a one bed trope in this one too. This one does take a little while. Like I felt myself needing a little bit of a while to get into this one, but at the same time, with Emily Henry's writing and how like funny and just witty and cute but also like emotionally gripping it is, I was not like bored or anything. There are things that are sometimes like a little bit complicated to express in a way that makes sense, but she finds a way, and she does it in different ways in all of her books, and I just think it's like fascinating. Fourth Wing, I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and it's just a really good romantasy that's filled with like drama and high stakes and like anguish. I don't know, it's like one of those ones where you just like feel the emotion because like everything is so big. It just envelopes me in the world, and I love it. It wasn't like my favorite fantasy I've ever read, but it was like super good, and I definitely think it's a 5-star read. I really loved it. I really, really loved it, and I'd even maybe reread it eventually, because I feel like I listened to it as an audiobook, and I feel like I could even read it and see if that's like a different experience. That is all for this reading vlog. I hope that you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel and like this video if you liked it. And then also I have a Goodreads, an Instagram, and a TikTok that I post book stuff on. It's Farrah's Books is the name for all of them, and I'll also link them below. Have a great day. All right, I will see you in the next one.